Hey everyone, I wanted to share with you the sewing journal that I've made for a swap over on the Junk Journal Junkies Facebook page. Um, this actually, I loved doing this swap. My mother and my grandmother were big sewers, and I grew up with people sewing all around me when I was young. I actually do sew a little bit, although I really just don't have the patience for it, so I stopped quite a while ago. But in any case, I really enjoyed this swap, and it's been hosted by Yvonne over on our Facebook page, so thank you, Yvonne. So I've kept the cover fairly simple. A little bit of lace here. I've used a big button card, added a little bit of a few buttons there. It's actually a book that I've antiqued just by using some crackle medium. I've painted the book this fawn color and then used the crackle and then put the vanilla paint over top. The closure is just some eyelets here, closed with some seam binding. And the color scheme that I've gone for really is kind of an off-white, beige, with a touch of pink throughout. Just kept it fairly neutral and plain, and then a little bit of more color with the patterns and so on. On the spine, so we were supposed to add a dangle, and on the spine I've used a zipper with just a little bit of lace here around it, and then I've hung the charm from the zipper pull here. So on the zipper pull, of course, I've just got a little bit of seam binding, a couple of buttons. This one's more of a peach color, or rather the pink color, and that's the fawn color. A pink bead, some scissors here that has a little white rose on it, thread, and a sewing machine, and those are a couple of Tim Holtz safety pins, and a thimble. So going inside, now this was of course a sewing themed journal, and I wanted to do something just a touch differently. I wanted to, I've got it knotted here I guess, I wanted to incorporate some of the things that I remember and I enjoyed when I was a child around sewing, just because of my mom and my grandmother. And those things you'll see throughout are buttons. My mom had a fantastic button collection, and when I was young I used to love to play with them and look at them and just kind of, crazy things kids do. So just really kind of playing with them. And the other thing that I remember from when I was a child was that my grandmother always had her fabric, either when she bought it, in a brown paper bag, or it was always wrapped up with brown packing paper and string. So throughout, you'll see that I've used some brown packing paper, so and string. So really, that's just a shout out to those things that I remember from being a child, and some of my happy memories around that. The other thing I wanted to do is just be a little bit different and not just have kind of a general sewing theme. I really set this up to be kind of a dressmaker's journal. So you'll see as we go through, I've got things like covers from instruction manuals that say the dressmaker might be keeping on hand. There's her favorite patterns. There are graph pages where she might sketch her designs out. There's appointment pages. And then just a variety of cards that kind of might be some of her favorite things that she would want to keep on hand and have handy. So that's really kind of the theme that I've used for this. So let's go inside. So on the cover then I've just used some of that brown packing paper, a little bit of lace here. The first page I've added a doily with a Tim Holtz pin just as a pocket, and then I've added some buttons here. This is from a Tim Holtz paper pad, And then I've also added this dressmaking, tailoring, and alterations tag. My intent of that was really that if this was a dressmaker's, say, day planner or something, she'd want to have some of her business cards. So that's really what that was intended kind of to mimic. This is a receipt for a sewing machine, so she's keeping that on hand. Here's an appointment page and some graph paper, and here's a stamped tag, and I've just added a little bit of lace there, and it can be used for journaling. These are blouse pins and just a wooden dress form here. And you'll see throughout I've used lots of lace and so on. Here I've got a thread card, and I've just added a bit of thread here and some scissors, a few buttons at the top, and then just a thread card. The other thing that I've done is added some tissue paper, some coffee dye tissue paper, just because of course it reminds me of pattern paper that you would use or that you would get in your patterns. These are some stickers, just as some thimbles, and they're fairly old-fashioned looking. This is just a dress pattern instructions that I've printed out on that page. I get a lot of inspiration from Pinterest, and I had been looking and noticed that there were some antique lace samples, and so that's what my inspiration was for this page, and I've just backed some of the laces that I have on hand just on some of this brown packing paper as well. And you'll see throughout I've done some stamping, and that's mainly because I don't really like it when there's a completely blank page. I like to have something on every page, but I also like to, of course, leave lots of room for journaling for my partner, so I've just done a bit of stamping. This is just a pattern image here I've used as a tuck spot. This is an alterations tag, and I got it from A Tattered Dream on Etsy, and that's Denise's store, so if you haven't checked that out, her store, you should, because she's got some great things. So this was perfect for this journal. And here's some more graph paper, and then that's a pattern I've just made into a tuck spot. And I haven't included cards or tags in every spot, just because this really is chunky, and if I added to every spot I don't think it would close very well, so I wanted to also leave some room for my partner, and she can change things around if she needs to or wants to. Lots of lace throughout this book. This is a top tuck spot, and this is the center of the signature, and I've turned it into a pocket just with some lace and some rickrack, and then a button here. The other thing I thought that a dressmaker would want is just some, things to do paper and some notes paper, so I've included that. Those were from Debbie Ann from Ephemeris Vintage Garden a few weeks ago, so I used those. And I've also included, you'll see through it, a little bit of ledger paper, because I thought, of course, she would want to keep her track of her sales and so on, so that's why I've included that. This is an old, that's a printable, it's just an old pattern. It's a journaling card. This is an instruction for a sewing machine. And then this is, if you can see, that's a tuck spot as well, with just a Butterick pattern label on it. That's from the sticker sheet again, just some scissors. A little bit of stamping there. Image that I printed out just on that page. Again, more stamping, graph paper. This is a belly band, and that I've just added a few kind of random buttons to that. And that's spot, and there's another tuck spot, and that's of course some ledger paper there. Some actual pattern paper that I've Mod Podged here. And this is a top tuck spot. Those are some images from the Tim Holtz paper, and I've just added some lace and a button there. This paper bag, I've added an index card there for journaling. And this is a tuck spot. And this is the Fragrant Minutes, Singing While They Sew, and it's about, I guess, women doing their sewing and so on. So I thought it was kind of cute to include that for my partner to read, and it's just a journaling spot. I've used a pattern envelope. I've cut it in half, and you'll see the other half later on in the book. And I've just coffee dyed it and attached it and used it as a pocket here for another one of those alterations tags. And this is just a short page, and I've left it as a tuck spot here. A couple of button images here. And we were to do sewing in the book, and my sewing machine has very conveniently decided to give me a hard time, so I was only able to do sewing on one tag here, stamped with those scissors. If I can get it working properly before I have to mail this out, I'll do a little bit more sewing, but right now I feel lucky that I got one done. I've used some snaps here as a tuck spot with a couple of tags in, and you'll see in a few spots I've used some pattern instruction paper just as background. Another one of those tags and a tuck spot here, and a spool card, or a thread card, I guess. This is sewing machine, all the parts of a sewing machine, and this button card is one of my favorite images, so you'll see I've used it a few times throughout the book. Tuck spot there. It's a bag, and I've just added a needle card here and added my information here. And that's a pattern as a journaling spot, a top tuck spot, and just a tag for journaling. That's a flip out. And this is some vintage paper from a book that's got some embroidery instructions on it. Another tag with some stamping and then more instructions. That's a tuck spot there, and a big envelope in that as well. And more packing paper and another doily as a pocket. No pattern instructions. Those are some scissors just on that. Another tuck spot there. And I've done a button sample page here as well. And that's a pocket. A couple of journaling spots there. Another tag. And that's open. This is a top tuck spot. Again, I had inspiration from Pinterest, so those are some actual vintage, very small safety pins and some buttons that I've used there. Another thimble, and that's a top pocket. And the other side of that pattern envelope, and another tag. Another tag here. And that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope my partner likes this, and I will see you all next time. Thanks.